Good morning, students. In the previous module, we have studied about the reason of conflict between the French and the Dutch-speaking people in Belgium. Now, we are going to study about another country, Sri Lanka. The next topic, ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, basically there are three groups of people. 74% of the population speaks Sinhala language and are Buddhist. 18% of the population comprises of the Tamils. Among the Tamils, 13% are Sri Lankan Tamil and 5% Indian Tamil. Sri Lankan Tamils are those Tamils who are the original inhabitants of Sri Lanka, whereas the Indian Tamils are those Tamils whose forefathers came to Sri Lanka and settled there. They came to Sri Lanka for the purpose of work and they settled there. They are called Indian Tamils. These Tamils, they are either Hindus or Muslims. 7% of the population comprises of the Christians. They speak either Tamil language or Sinhala language. This is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, the main conflict was between the 74% Sinhala speaking people and 18% Tamils. The reason was the Sri Lankan government had always followed the policy of Majoritarianism. Now let us understand the reason of conflict in Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan government adopted Majoritarianism philosophy and established Sinhala supremacy. Sri Lankan government always gave preference to the majority community. Which was the majority community? The Sinhalas. So the preference was given only to the Sinhala community. This was the main reason of conflict. Because of this preference to Sinhala community, there was a feeling of alienation among the Tamils. The Tamils started feeling themselves as if they are an alien to the nation. The Tamils felt that the constitution and the government policies denied them equal political rights, discriminated against them in getting jobs and other opportunities and ignored their interest. Tamils को क्या लगा? तमिल्स को ये लगा कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसी जो है उनको हर प्रकार से डिस्क्रिमिनेट कर रही है इन द फील्ड ऑफ गेटिंग जॉब्स, इन द फील्ड ऑफ अदर interest. This was the reason of conflict in Sri Lanka. The government of Sri Lanka, they adopted majoritarianism policy, and because of which the Tamils of Sri Lanka started feeling as if they are an alien. Now let us understand what are the different steps taken by the Sri Lankan government to establish Sinhala supremacy. First, in 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language of the country. 1956 में एक act पास किया गया, according to which Sinhala was the only official language of the country. सिन्हाला ही एकमात्र ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज होगा देश का, ये 1956 में एक एक्ट पास किया गया. Second, preference was given only to the Sinhala speaking Buddhist community in jobs and admission to universities. जो Sinhala speaking Buddhist community थी उन्हीं को ही जॉब्स और यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में प्रेफरेंस दिया जाता. एक तमिल ज़्यादा टैलेंटेड होने के बावजूद भी प्रेफरेंस किसको दिया जाता है था? Sinhala speaking Buddhist people. Why? Because they were in majority. Third, the new constitution stipulated that the state shall protect and foster Buddhism. नए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ये क्लियरली मेंशन कर दिया गया कि the state means the government would protect and foster Buddhism. गवर्नमेंट जो है बुद्धिज्म रिलीजन को प्रोटेक्ट करेगी और उसको स्प्रेड करने के लिए हर कोशिश जो है वो करेगी. Now let us understand what were the demands of श्रीलंकन तमिल्स. श्रीलंकन तमिल्स जो थे वो 3 चीज चाहते थे. गवर्नमेंट ने मेजॉरिटेरियनिज्म पॉलिसी अडॉप्ट किया और जिसके कारण हर जगह पे सिन्हाला को प्रेफरेंस दिया गया और जो तमिल्स उनको नेग्लेक्ट किया गया. सो द श्रीलंकन तमिल्स demanded 3 things. The Tamils demanded 3 things. First, regional autonomy. Second, recognition of Tamil also as official language. Third, equality of opportunity in jobs. So these were the 3 demands of the Sri Lankan Tamils. But the government constantly denied the Tamils their rights. The Tamils were constantly neglected by the government. Because of this effect, which they developed 2 things in Sri Lanka. Effect of majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. They developed distrust between the Sinhalas and the Tamils, which ultimately resulted in civil war. कॉन्स्टेंटली मेजॉरिटेरियनिज्म की फिलॉसफी को अडॉप्ट करने के कारण और तमिल्स को नेग्लेक्ट करने के कारण जो तमिल और सिन्हाला लोगों के बीच का रिलेशनशिप बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रेन्ड हो गया. द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द सिन्हालास एंड द तमिल कम्युनिटी स्ट्रेन्ड ओवर टाइम. There developed distrust between the Tamils and the Sinhalese. तमिल्स और सिन्हालिस के बीच में एक डिस्ट्रस्ट डेवलप हो गया. उनके बीच में कोई ट्रस्ट नहीं था. And the distrust between the 2 communities resulted into a civil war. दोनों के बीच में एक सिविल वॉर हो गया. सिविल वॉर का मतलब क्या होता है? जब अपने ही देश के लोग आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ वॉर करे. That is known as civil war.